I'm hoping that she stays at least for the next 2 years. That's hope. I'm hoping that I'll get elected, but at least for this this second, it's not critical, and at least I'm hoping that I'm right.
Well, I look forward to her comments on reports.
Yes.
It's a key position, and I think we need to be very abreast.
Yes, and thank you. I should have called you. I should have called you. And I was thinking about that, so I apologize. It's my fault. You did ask me. Okay. Are there any other amendments to this agenda? Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion to support the agenda as amended?
Support.
Okay, supported. Made by Hutchins. Is there support, please? To
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Wright. All those in favor to approve tonight's agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, motion passed. Thank you, everyone. Next is item number 6, public comment. Members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson for the items on this agenda only. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public are asked to state their name, street name, and town. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to comment? I know we have some people, but they're here for other reasons. Okay. All right, hearing none, and then we will move on. Next is item number 7, presentation. And the first is a presentation by the Village of Holly Chief of Police, Jerry Narsh, concerning security concerns for Sorensen Park. Welcome, Chief. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you turn that mic on for me, please? Thank you very much.
Boom, red glow. All right, you're welcome. So, no, it's a privilege to be here. Thanks for the invite. And Joe and I, when I first got here a long, long time ago, we met and we talked about some things, but there's so many other issues that have come into play over the years that I really wanted to take this opportunity to, number one, address the concerns that you guys have as a commission, but then also some better ways to empower you. And I'm going to explain why that almost has to happen. So first off, what I wanted to do is back up and talk about some of the incidents that have been happening, whether it's a fight at the ball fields, the individual that was parked back here, which, by the way, once we got information on that, I turned it out to the patrol. One of the patrol officers came out here. We snuck up on a guy and found out he had all kinds of bad juju going on, which resulted in handcuffs and an impound to the car. So you'll never see that guy again. He didn't live in this area, and now he's at 1200 Telegraph. So, and that's the way we want it to work, right? And so part of that would be, and so just quick, like bullet point safety recommendations is, on the entrance signs, just real quick, is to make sure that they meet village standards. I just don't want to see, that become an issue. And, good readability, and maybe somewhere at the entrance of the park, the rules. So, and I want to get to those in a little bit. Security cameras are a great choice. Somebody mentioned those in an email. I think it was Mary. And I know there's a little money to them, but I will say this. I've worked with a lot of businesses and a lot of different places over placing cameras. They've come down where the cost on these things is so cheap. The night optics are so incredibly good now, the daytime optics, and you can literally hang a camera like here, the front, back side, wherever your issues are at the ball fields, maybe at the entrance of a park, a little ways back so you get the license plate when they're leaving. And they all feed back to a server that you would have here, and it's like really inexpensive. So I would encourage you to take a peek at it. And there's even some grants out there that you could get because you're government and it's a security move. And it's also safety for personnel. So when you add those three up, there's a lot of options for that. Lighting is really, really good. I like the motion activated because it doesn't cost you as much if you leave it on all night. Everything's LED now, but if you get motion activated LED where somebody's coming around, that's going to trip a camera too, and now you've got really good light on the individual. And a lot of these camera systems, you can even tie them to the lights or tie them to motion activated. So you're not just running DVD drive or burning it into a digital drive. It'll, and then you can set the dump on that. Usually it's about 30 days. So it gives you plenty of time to check it, find it, save it, tag it, and move it to a different part of the drive. Signage is, warnings are good. Prohibit and consequences, some of them are required under statutes, and I'll kind of get to those in a little bit. And my biggest encouragement is, and we suffer from it here the same as every other town, but I've saw just recently 2 posts that were up on the Holly discussion page that were concerns about an individual's personal safety. And one was a female that was in a car at a gas station. And I read little bits of it because I've just, my number 2 has retired, and he was administrative, so he did all of the FOIA and all of the digital recordings, all these things, as well as tons of other things. Well, he's gone, so that's on me now until I can move another person into that role. So I'm like blurry all the time. I'm very seldom on social media, but I saw these 2 posts because somebody had tagged me on one, but I just didn't have time to review it fully and answer. But the point of it is, we quite often will go to social media and lay out all of the reasons why I should have called 911, but never called 911. And then 300 people comment on the post, and nobody really says, hey, did you call 911? Because chances are we're 15 seconds away on that road in that spot. It could be anywhere. But our response time is, lightning fast in that area. That's where we're at a lot at that time of night. So it would have been under a minute. And probably would have caught the individual, had a conversation much like this person. And so the point I'm trying to make is anybody on the Parks Committee, employees, anybody, if there's any issue, we want to know right then, not after they've left, not the next day, not next week, not as it's happening, somebody disappear off to the side. And please make sure that we call the dispatch number. So in 2011, you could no longer call the village offices to summon a police officer because it complicates things because everything has to go through the CAD dispatch system. They're going to ask you a million annoying questions, I know. But all of those questions have a meaning, then they're typing that. All of that information is being typed into, and then it's sent to a dispatcher. That's a call taker. So the dispatcher then can radio to the officer, you're looking for a gray car, it's a white male, 40s, ponytail, wearing a black shirt, pink pants, blue shoes. All of that wouldn't be there if you just called our clerk and said, hey, can you send an officer? They don't even know what they're looking for. So if that person's leaving, then there's a lot of reasons why it has to be. Then it has to be collected in our data system. And that's what dispatch does for us. And we used to do in 2011 previous when we had a 911 center. But it's all got to be entered in the call because all of our calls are digitized and all of that data is in there that we got to have. So that gets FOIA'd constantly, and plus it becomes important in trials and criminal proceedings and things like that. So we tell everybody, now what we do is if somebody does call the village PD during the day and they want an officer, they have to transfer them down to dispatch. So dispatch can collect the information from the caller, then dispatch the officer. So it's not a matter of convenience, it's a matter of really urgency and importance. So, but call the 858-4911, that's the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. That's our dispatch center, and they have been since 2011. So that's for non-emergency, 911 of course for emergency. And we want to come when it's happening. So if you know what, you're not bugging us. You are not bothering us. That's what we want to do. It's 45 years of doing this, and I still get really excited catching bad guys. I guess like big game hunting or fishing, but it's what we do. And, the only way to make a town safe is to do this, have conversations, know our community, but at the same time, have that relationship where when you need us, you call us. And then we're going to show up and we're going to do the right thing. So that's law enforcement in a nutshell. So the more we can do that and work together, the better. Now, one of the issues that we have, and there is a way to address it really easy, but it's going to take a few steps. I gave you a copy of the Holly Village Ordinance on Parks, Chapter 96. Now, there's ownership and permission in law. Ownership in this case, jurisdictionally, ownership means nothing. In other words, Holly Township can own 2 or 3 pieces of property or 5 in the village of Holly. The country of England could own 5 acres in the village or something, or a building. The township ordinances don't apply. So all of your park rules are null and void. They don't apply. They will not apply in court. If you prosecute or persecute someone on behalf of a rule, and if they sue you, they may win because that rule was invalid. You have township rules, but they don't apply in the village of Holly. My suggestion is to bulletproof all of the rules, the easiest way to do it. And I think if you go side by side, and Joe and I a long time ago, Joe sent me the beach rules, I think some other park rules, and I looked at them. There isn't a lot of difference. This just covers more stuff. But the easiest way to do it is if you took these back and gave them to the township and said, you know what, let's adopt these as park rules, any park rules in the village of Holly. You might establish 10 more parks outside over the years, and they don't have to apply to them, but if you apply these to any property in the village that the parks has authority over, then all we've got to do at the village is add one sentence, because right now these don't apply to your parks. So we cannot enforce any park rule. We can't enforce our park rules in your parks, and we can't enforce your park rules in your parks. The only laws and rules that apply are the general laws such as disorderly conduct, assault and battery, open intoxicants in a vehicle, trespassing if it applies, or like what this individual was doing, that would apply to any business or any open property. But technically right now, and it has been for a very long time, none of the rules or laws apply from the village side, because these, when you look at who they apply to, it says applies to all Village of Holly parks, Holly Village parks. All I have to do is amend the ordinance to add "and any township park located in the village." That's the easiest way. It's complicated and expensive to take 2 sets of rules and make township park rules, add another section to if you got 5,000 to 8,000 to spend, we could go that route, but you got to pay for it. If I'm just changing a sentence, nobody's going to care, right? We're going to amend the ordinance to add "and any township park located within the village." Boom, now these apply. And now every one of these can be enforced at the beach, here, any place where a township park owns or has property or has a function going on. So it's a legal dilemma in that ownership really doesn't apply. It's just jurisdictional issues. And in the courts, the only thing that matters is do the police officers have jurisdiction over these ordinances in that locale? And so the township ordinances don't work, and the village's ordinances don't work because of the way the language is written on township property, or township parks, not property. Does that make sense? I mean, am I saying it right? So we can't literally prosecute other than the general rule of don't do this, do that. So that's what I'm saying. If you have a sign that says we have specific park rules and park closing times. And here's where it gets important. So it's called fruit of the poison tree. And fruit of the poison tree becomes really important, and people don't realize these are all these procedural or there's substantive law and then procedural law. Procedural law is the gist of where all court cases exist. The law is the law, right? It's pretty clear. It's the procedural law. So if you have a rule and that rule says the parks close at 9 p.m., right? And they're here at 11 p.m. and you call and the police come out and they arrest somebody because maybe in the township ordinance it's a misdemeanor to be in here past 11 p.m. So we arrest them on that. So what happens is if the arrest is bad, and let's say during that arrest we discover on them some heroin, some cocaine, maybe a gun. That gun then is found out, traced back to a homicide or a robbery. Everything we discover, if the arrest is bad, that's the tree, the fruit of the poison tree is everything we discover after the arrest. So and this is under U.S. law, Michigan law, everywhere, fruit of the poison tree just means it's the exclusionary rule on evidence and none of that's going to apply. So the arrest is going to be thrown out. Everything we discover on the other side of a bad arrest is also thrown out. So we just sabotaged and destroyed a homicide case, a robbery case. They got away with the narcotics, the drugs. We literally can't do anything to them. So that's why it's important, because we never know what we're walking into. Like this guy. I could tell you the full story of. Now the nice thing was, if this was just open land, and you as a property owner on this open land called and said, there's a car here that doesn't belong and they're making us nervous, we would come investigate that. So we did that as a suspicious vehicle. In the process of that, we discovered other things. So under the general law, we were able to prosecute that. Had it been that that guy couldn't have been here because it was a township rule, we couldn't have done anything with it. So it does matter, because the officers know the law inside and out, and they're not going to put themselves in that predicament. They know. It's why you don't stop a vehicle for speeding 15 miles outside your jurisdiction. It's illegal. We don't have police jurisdiction or authority, so if the stop is bad, anything we discover is bad. I mean, they could be sued for stopping that person. We stopped their motion of freedom and enjoyment of travel, and we had no lawful purpose in doing so. So everything matters as it relates to the law. And this helps us help you, because if these are your rules and we change that sentence, then everything in here we can enforce here and at the beach. But right now we can't enforce either of them. So just know. And if you call the police and say, hey, our park, the park is closed and there's trespassers in there, not much we can do unless we have laws passed that say we can enter the property and enforce a specific rule for that organization.
Chief, were you saying that if, say like at a future meeting, the commission would have to make a motion to adopt your rules, and then would we have to go to the Village of Holly Council and do it that way, or no?
No, so you're a commission, right? You're a taxing entity?
Yes.
And you're able to, you don't have any, what is the relationship as far as ordinances and things with the township? Do you have, where do your ordinances lie that says the park rules? Policies, just so you know, policies, law enforcement can't enforce a policy. So if you have park rules that are part of a policy, you might as well just take them down, because they're unenforceable. Legally, civilly. Civilly, you open yourself up, because if you're exercising an unenforceable policy, then and it ends up putting hands on people or a fight results from that, and then park employees get involved, you've just opened your park employees up to massive civil liability. So they're going to be, well, I'm almost positive. Now, does the township have an ordinance that governs? Well, let me back up. Where do your park rules exist? Are they just in your policy?
Just in our policy book.
We're a standalone organization.
Okay,
The only thing the township looks at is our budget.
period.
That's it. We're like the library is the same way. Us and the library are the same way.
Okay. So here's my recommendation, and this would make it legal, is if you simply as a body adopted these, and then you send us a letter to the village, myself and Tim, the manager, and say, we have adopted these as our rules, our commission, for all parks located in the village of Holly. Then you're requesting that we amend our ordinance to include township. And I've already talked to the manager this morning. We have every Wednesday, we have a staff meeting with all department heads. So we had that this morning. I brought this up, and I said, you know, do any of you folks have any questions on, you know, the DPW, the clerk, everybody? So they all were like, yo, no, that makes sense. And I said, we can legally do it by just adding one sentence to the definition of what is a park. Right now, it just says that it has to be a village-owned property. So we just add comma and township parks located in the village, and now all of this applies. And we can then legally enter the park and enforce all of these.
One question I have, because it's a little tricky. Last couple of years, we have a designated swim area. And by state law, you cannot come within 100 feet of our swim area with a boat. We have people driving through. I've talked to the people, said, you know, by state law, you have to be 100 feet from a designated swim area. It's been that way since 1955. The only people that used to enforce it was Oakland County Sheriff Water Patrol used to come in and dump in at the boat landing and come out and ticket people. How do we, you know, I got boat numbers, vehicle numbers, trailer numbers, all kinds of information. We took a cell phone and photographed the last guy that was he was 10 feet from the swim area. And I told him, I said, state law is you gotta stay 100 feet. He goes, no, I'm not. So who's gonna enforce that?
DNR. And they will. If you send the boat information down, because they can write the tickets and mail them out.
Oh,
Just form that relationship with your DNR, whoever your DNR officer regionally is that's out here.
7 Lakes.
DNR can enforce it, or a Marine, because I had a Marine division. I had a Marine division for 35 years. So, and we did it because, you know, I had a lake and I had a Marine division. So I had Marine patrol, but it's got to be a Marine division or DNR. And that's a state law. That's not a park law. That's a state law
It is.
on surface
That's where
water,
it gets a little tight.
inland lakes, everywhere in the state of Michigan. So,
Now, is it better off that we call Oakland County Sheriffs or DNR? Because, and what do we do? We got all the evidence.
you know, I'd call them both. See which one's easier for you. And just say, hey, can I send this to you? And then here's the person that will testify. Here, I'm the witness, you know.
Because we had 2 of us at the beach, and this
Yeah.
guy come up, and I told him, you know, he had his engine off. I said, you have to be within 100 feet by state law. He goes, not me. He goes, I don't care. So we took a picture of him. We got the boat numbers down. I went over to the boat landing and got 2 suspect vehicles, because I didn't want to run into this guy with his truck and his trailer and everything else. So it's one of the 2 trucks and trailers. But the boat he was running, we got that number.
We fine people because we can't spank grown-ups. You got to find something to motivate their behavior, right? When they're little, you know, that's what we did, right? We took away their phone, their privileges, and put them in their room. We call that jail. Or we find them. So if it's in law, right, so we can do that. So there's a new statute that has been expanded in the last 5 years that allows our school resource officers, like if you pass a school bus, there's cameras on it. So those cameras can take a picture of the license plate. And it doesn't matter who's driving the car. It's kind of like if you get a parking ticket, right? So we get a call of a complaint, somebody's blocking a driveway or they're parked downtown in a fire lane. We go down there, we just write a ticket to the registered owner.
Yep.
Registered owner calls up and says, oh, I wasn't, we don't care.
Yeah.
State law says registered owners are responsible
Yep.
because there's no way to know who's driving it. It's the same way with the bus tickets, right? So we get them all day long from the school bus drivers, and the district will send them out. And I've kind of split it up to the different SROs, but they'll get the tickets, they write them, pop them in the mail, see you in court. But it's statutorily described in the state law that police officers may now, with these bus cameras, write those tickets. Now, if it wasn't there, we couldn't do it, if it didn't say it in the law. So that's in the law, it's not in a park rule, right? So you can do that. Yeah.
So Chief, what about the incident where it happened at the beach, and it was the winter time, and this gentleman was driving his
Ski-Doo.
snowmobile,
Yeah.
and he went under. Do you recall how the police, did you kind of...
We were not involved in it.
Yeah, no,
until
we
after the
rescued,
fact.
we assisted in the rescue of that guy along with the individual, and I gave him an award, myself and Sheriff Bouchard, and we went down to the county. And, yeah, and all those things, but now, when you say what was the issue, though?
The issue was, in that instance, who has the authority or the designation to assist? And that gentleman was very fortunate to have you all there.
Yeah, life-saving is different. So life-saving is different. I mean, technically, it's on the water, and snowmobile is the same as a boat. Just because the water is frozen, it doesn't still water, right? And the surface of the water is governed by the DNR, Marine Division. Now, the crash itself, our officers can write the crash, and we did, but by state law, the county sheriff of every county has to have two things, a jail and a Marine Division. Those are the two things that every sheriff has to maintain by charter, their charter, right? So under state law, everybody in the state and in the county, well, for us, Oakland County, how many lakes? There's 400 lakes in Oakland County, or more. So whatever jurisdiction, could be in Troy, Bloomfield Hills, right? If they have a boating accident, and I've had thousands, I've hit thousands, hundreds, but I've had fatals that I've had to write up in, my department, former department. But all of those go to the sheriff's department. They just maintain a copy. It goes to the state, but they get a copy. And why do they get a copy? Because the state law says every water-related crash, a crash report copy will be sent to the county sheriff. And that's why state law, the law is so specific, including ordinances. So because our ordinance says only Village of Holly parks, we cannot enforce them in township parks, any of the rules. So really, I think it's adopting these by your rule adoption and amendment process, whatever that is, making it official here, and then saying, hey, on this date and time, here's a copy, we adopted them, here's the minutes, and we'd like to have Chapter 96 definitions, areas covered is 9602 specifically. And if you go to 9602, all village parks are covered by the provisions of this chapter. And what I would do is I'd have our attorney add all village parks and any township park located in the village is covered by the provisions of this chapter. That's the easiest, when that's the only thing you got to do to amend an ordinance and have it apply, I don't even need a lawyer. I mean, I'll type that up, give it to the manager, council will adopt it, and off we go. And the minute council adopts that, then we publish that, right? So we put that out and publish just that the Chapter 96 Parks has been amended to include township parks. So then, I would say before you get signage, then if you want to put some stuff out that has teeth, pick it out of here, put it on a sign as you enter the park that says park rules, because now they're enforceable. Now they're enforceable. And pick the ones that are your biggest problem. Because you could list 85, and people are pulling in or going, just add no fun.
Yeah. No breathing.
You cannot have fun in this park.
Yeah.
Smiles will be prosecuted. Yeah.
The other thing is, They used to make it mandatory, you had to have boating and safety, when you were growing up.
Yeah.
And inland waters are treated different than the Great Lakes. So when I fish the Great Lakes, that is patrolled and enforced by the Coast Guard. And you make a mistake in the Detroit River, I don't care how small a boat you got or how big a one, you're gonna get a big fine. So you gotta know the rules, because you can't plead ignorance of the law.
Well, and on the flip side, those rules have to be enforceable.
Yeah.
And so Holly Police Department couldn't go out with a rowboat, put a blue light on it on the Detroit River and
No.
start, or Lake Michigan and start pulling people over and fining them.
Yeah.
And we'd be chased away with a stick.
Yeah.
So Chief, I was looking at these just very
Yeah.
quickly. There are a few items in here that I have questions on. Since if we were to approve these policies the way they're written, does that mean that the village now, the entire village now has jurisdiction on our land as well?
No, just police department.
Just the police department?
Yeah. Your land happens to be in the village, so technically the village already has authority. That's why I'm saying if you put a sign out, it has to meet village sign ordinance, not township.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, your sign with the wheel on it, the portable sign, that's a violation.
Yeah.
It's been-
And if somebody complained, I'd have to come have you move it.
Yeah, it's been there for,
I know.
Hundreds of years.
Somebody saw it the other day and did mention it to me
Now, the
and said,
other thing-
isn't that a violation? And I said, well, I'm going to talk to him on it.
over the years, we looked at putting new signage out front. Here's the problem. Those big oak trees out front block our view of moving the sign.
Yeah.
And those trees belong to the Oakland County Road Commission. So we always said, before we put up a nice expensive sign that you can see, we gotta get them oak trees out of there. And they're getting really old.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, that's what's kept us from putting new signage. That's why we painted it white with red letters. It used to be red with white letters or brown,
Right.
so it's more visible. But those trees are blocking
Yeah.
our vision.
And what would be really cool is you can get the solar thingies and they light up at
Solar
night.
lights,
Yeah. And it doesn't cost anything, you just, and those, they've actually gotten pretty good. They were garbage when they first came out, but now they're pretty good and they'll hold a charge for you. And so at night, people drive by and it says
Yeah, we had some out there, but I think.
Holly Township, Sorensen Park, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to upgrade our maintenance.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, again, let's take a look at this very carefully.
Yeah, sure, go
Yeah, I
through
am
these.
As well.
But would you suggest that we adopt all of them, because sooner or later, it might happen?
Problem is, if you change anything, it throws the monkey into the mix, because now you're asking us to amend our ordinance, which they're not going to do.
No, but I mean, if we adopt all of the village ordinance, the whole thing, lock,
Just,
stock, and barrel.
just adopt it, and you don't, it goes back to, there are over 50,000 laws in the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
Right? Just the motor vehicle code has more than anybody that is humanly able to know. I think I've known two people that were just freak cops. Sergeants on those departments where you could call them up and they would recite a motor vehicle code from chapter 72, section 23, part A. It's like, stop. Nobody should know this stuff. So you don't have to enforce all this, but it just makes it, the problem is, here we are, right? So I can pretty much guarantee you, it'd be a couple of years if you submit it and say, we want an ordinance amendment in the village, now you're going to pay for that. Or we want our own special ordinance again, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for the lawyer costs, your lawyer, our lawyer, all of it. If you simply adopt these and we make the change in the front,
It's
Yeah,
just
because
that
We don't want to make this a la carte. We just
Ye-
take the
ye-
whole thing.
yeah, now what you enforce and what you want to make as a rule,
Yes.
it's up to you.
Well, because there's things in here that I don't agree with, and like on stuff on trees,
On the what?
items on
Trees.
trees.
96.4.
Yeah, 96.40. And then there's the appointment of a village forester, appointment of a tree board. I mean, public improvements. It goes on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about this. I have some
Well, it's
concerns.
something that the commission will have to talk about anyway. and
It is,
decide.
it is. I think, this is why I think
See, here's the issue you face, like it or not. And I mentioned two things when I came in. I said ownership and authority and jurisdiction, right? So technically, it doesn't matter that the township owns the property. Technically, every ordinance within the village applies to you because you're in the village. So the forestry section of this would apply to you. If you did something outside of one of these ordinances, 99.9% of everything in ordinance is always usually complaint driven, right? But if somebody said, here, they're cutting down all the trees and they're doing this, you're in the village.
But Chief, again, I understand what you're saying, I
Right.
hope you're correct, but just based on my experience, for example, the school district, they don't have to comply with the village.
School's separate. Why?
Why?
By state law, it carves out that schools are separate. A school cannot spend a dime of their money to improve the road 3 inches in front of their school property. They can wreck the road with their buses, but state law prohibits them from doing any improvements to that road. They can only, like when you pass a sinking fund, under state statute, it can only be spent on school property for those things. So they can't improve it, your roads and your streets, but the statute says that. So you can disagree with it, but it's not going to change it. Now, the other thing you could do is do you have an attorney on retainer?
No, but we are looking into that.
Okay. Because I was going to say you could ask an attorney their opinion, but I was just going to save you the money. You're in the village. So it's never been an issue discussed, and I know there's all this township village stuff going on. That doesn't apply to me in the police department. Trust me when I tell you we don't care about any of that. I don't care who's running the village. I don't care who's running the township. And I don't care what their issues are. I'm a cop, and I'll always be a cop. I've always been a cop, and I've done this in a lot of towns, and you know what? I've never lost a court case in 45 years. Thousands of them. There's a reason for that. We know what we're doing. You can either adopt it or not adopt it. But either way, it's okay. I'm not here to push it on you. But if you don't, just know the rules you have are unenforceable. You can't call us and say there's a rule violation. And then the other thing is I would caution you to have your employees not enforce the rules in a way that would put them in a position of, you didn't confront the guys with the boats for a reason and the trucks, you know. You don't want to do that. But now if there's a state law that says that, like the other stuff, we'll come, right? Because that could happen anywhere, right? Somebody come up and be a jerk to you.
Like, for example, a burglary,
Oh, yeah, all of that.
a burglary.
Yeah, burglary and assault. I mean, those are just
Assault.
that's general law under
Drugs.
Michigan law. But anything that is specific to this property by virtue of the rules adopted by the commission are not enforceable by the police department. And that's the problem. You could probably make the argument in court that it is enforceable because you adopted them. But how are you going to get them into court?
We're going to have to take a look at this very carefully, Commissioner.
So, yeah,
So-
yeah. I mean, and if, you guys, I think you all have my phone number. You got my email. If not, jnarsh@hollypolice.com. Pretty easy. We're a .com, man. Villages.org. We're .com.
Old school. I just have one.
We're new school, man. We're .com.
Commissioner Earl?
We're,
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
Regarding the hours, like the hours of operation, specifically at the beach, how would that work according to like the hours of operation in here?
I just changed, this hasn't been codified yet, but I just changed the hours of all our parks from sunset, sundown, sunset.
You just changed it
I
to
just
that?
changed it, yeah, and council approved it. So all of our parks are now,
Our parks are not like that.
yeah. So, but your hours are unenforceable.
But our,
So you
but-
can't call us to say,
But I think, and I'm not sure, but I believe both of our parks may be the only ones that are staffed.
Mhm.
On
Yes.
the beach. So the sunrise to sunset hours aren't really beach hours, it would be really exceeding
Expensive.
budget.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be beach hours. So, and I had these on beaches in other towns, right? So there's a reason why I wanted that. Because in the wintertime, sunset and sunrise is different. And if you have that in your ordinance, now guess what you are when you're in violation? You're trespassing. Trespassing is a misdemeanor. And if I have contact with you as a misdemeanor, now I can search you. And I can have a little more police authority on what you're doing and get to the bottom of it. So everything goes that fruit of the poison tree, but the exclusionary rule, but it also gives us, there's reasons why we want certain things, because it allows us in law enforcement to do other things, right? It gives us more authority and jurisdiction. So the sunset, you could be done and kicked everybody out if swimming hours or whatever, and you just kind of post that. Most people won't follow.
It's the morning part, like we wouldn't be open that kind of morning hours.
Yeah, we
and
wouldn't be open in the
staff.
morning.
Yeah, so and the other option is, what I've done in other parks that were on lakes and had beaches and all that stuff is during these hours, it's swim at your own risk. And believe it or not, the greatest liability you have is staffing a beach. The minute you put a lifeguard, you just put yourself, or a staff member, you bought the same as a beach in Hawaii with surfers and all the legal, you now are responsible for the same. It's like a sidewalk. If you don't have a sidewalk, you have no jurisdictional issues for a community for lawsuits. If you have a sidewalk, you have to salt it. You have to keep it clear. You have to make sure that there's not a 2-inch rise between the pads. If none of those things are done and the homeowners are responsible, now they can be sued. If there's no sidewalks, there's no lawsuit. They can trip all day long. And it's the same with a staff park. Now, I'm not trying to change your staff park, but what I'm trying to is the way the law works. Just because you have a rule that says we have a person there, it only increases your liability. It did not decrease it.
Our staff, though, is not lifeguards.
But they're staff. What is their purpose, though?
They're just-
to assist people that want to come in and use the park. They help them unload their cars, welcome them to the park. Our insurance company, when we used to have lifeguards, said your biggest liability is having lifeguards.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you,
And
yeah.
our sign out in front of the beach there on the building says no lifeguards. And it says swim at your
Oh, you have that now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. You're covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that excuses
Yep.
what staff does. Because you just said no lifeguards on duty, swim at your own risk.
Right.
So you
Staff does-
erased your liability. However, yeah, I mean, it's not, it's however you want to go, but what I want you to understand is the issues that comes with conflicting ordinance language, or not ordinance rule language, let's call it that. We'll call these rules, and your rules. So I can't enforce these, and I can't enforce yours. And just know that anything your staff does that's rule-based creates liability if they take any action that's rule-based.
That's why I only informed that voter. I said by state law, you're supposed to maintain 100 feet from a swim
Yeah.
area.
But that's a state law, so that's different, right?
Yeah.
He was in violation, and had there been somebody there, DNR,
Yeah.
Marine, they could have arrested him. You know, that's
If
fine.
you- We got a sign that's 10 feet tall at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
No smoking, no alcohol, no glass. Kids, you have to be 13 or older to come in the beach unless you have an adult with you. If you're younger, don't feed the ducks, all kinds of things. There's
Yeah.
also an ordinance in the village of feeding the wildlife too, so,
There's not an ordinance in the village feeding the wildlife.
really.
And there's no state law either.
So, okay.
But, yeah, it's just, it gets mucky,
Have to take a
that's
look
all,
at this.
that's all. I just wanted to share that with you and leave that for you guys to debate. If you got any questions, call me, email me. It's whatever path you want to take. But, you mentioned that, you said you had the rules 13 and under. So, and let me put it in context of, call the police, so what happens, right? let me ask you, what would the legal violation be if a 13-year-old came in without an adult?
We asked them to leave.
But I mean, if they didn't and they said profanity back to you, threw something at you and said, I'm staying. So you called the police. So under what authority would that rule have? What law did they violate by not leaving? It's trespassing. I'll give you the cue. So everything in there is almost always going to be trespassing if they don't. It's, and this is, let me frame it this way. So you own a McDonald's. There's a McDonald's in Holly. Can McDonald's in Holly tell heavy-set people with beards that you cannot eat my restaurant?
No.
Yes,
All day long.
They can?
Completely legal.
yeah.
And if they don't leave, they put a sign up that says heavy-set people with beards don't get food, and if they don't leave, we're going to arrest them.
Well, remember the old law?
Well, hold on. It's private property. And private property, the only thing you can't do on private property is race, color, ethnicity, the protected federal and all of the federal protections that are afforded out there. You cannot prohibit someone from accessing a free travel. But if they say no yellow cars in the drive-through, there's no, that's private property. It's the same as your house. You can do whatever you want in your house. You can tell them, get out of here. So we used to show up restaurants, I mean, this goes all the time, we still do it. We'll get called from a restaurant because somebody's being loud and profane.
Yep.
And they say, well, I just paid for my meal. I'm going to say, no. They want you gone. They told you to be quiet. You didn't.
Yep.
So now they're what? We're going to arrest them for trespassing. Never lost the game. Arrested under the. So that's the same thing that would happen in your park. They would be trespassing. So the rule has teeth, but fruit of the poison tree says it doesn't. So if you call us, they're not trespassing because your rule is invalid.
Yep.
So I can't hear it for you. So if you have somebody and they're causing trouble and they're doing all that stuff, you're under trouble.
I guess we've been very fortunate that the people have abided
Yeah, I
by
mean,
their
people
policies.
normally will comply if they feel like they're going to get in trouble. I mean, it's worked out okay for a lot of years. But, and I've been involved in federal lawsuits, not personally, but I've had to watch them and had staff that were involved by virtue of some other connection. So, and when you see this stuff go out, I mean, it's so easy. I mean, I've had probably 5 federal lawsuits, but all of them were dismissed before we even got to court because it was all crap. But if it's not crap, and all you need is a violation of the procedural laws, the laws of evidence, and the rules. Right? Well, that doesn't apply. So we're going to sweep it. And just be careful, and that's, I think it's a great idea to get an attorney and just have chats with them about this stuff. It would be very fruitful to keep money down. And ask them this. I mean, submit this to them. You know, if you get one, or if you have an attorney you know that will do it for you, just say, hey, you know, have them be involved. But I always look at what's inevitably going to happen. And we've escaped it, but I've been in the courtrooms for the inevitably going to happen lots of times. So I'm just warning you, I've been there, done that over and over and over and over. And it's always that it's not going to happen to us, or it's not going to happen. Or it hasn't happened yet. That it does.
Prepare for the future.
Yeah, you plan for the worst and hope for the best. And everything else, right? That's what we do. We train for the absolute worst of things and go to work every day hoping for the best.
Excellent.
And I know it's a lot all at once, but kind of is what it is. I kind of wanted to have this, so when you invited me, it was like, oh, this is the perfect. Because it's like, of all the other billion things I got going, I would have never stopped and said, yeah, I think I'm going to call the township parks and go in there and talk about this again. So you opened the door, and I thought I'd
No, we appreciate it very much.
you know, I know it's dumping a lot of stuff on you, but
Are there any other questions by the commission? None?
I always tell everybody, call the police chief. If you're questioning anything, or anything.
yeah.
Thanks, G.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
And again, you got my number?
Yep.
Got
Yep.
my email? Oops. I don't want to take, this is mine. Should I walk out of here? All right.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, we've got a lot to think about on this item, see how we're going to handle it. I don't think it's as simple as it sounds, but that's just me. We're going to have to look at this.
Well, yeah, that's like we say, we buy into this lock, stock, and barrel.
We'll see.
Yeah. You know, like he said, you plan for the inevitable,
You know what,
and
those are from a-
sooner or later, something's gonna happen.
That means they broke into a business, they stole this.
Okay.
This is how
All
they
right, then,
built it.
moving right along. Next item on the agenda is item number
Well, these actually are
7E.
whippets. These
And,
are how they refill the, you know, the
Madam Manager?
It smells like cotton candy when somebody blows it, it's steamed.
Mary?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I recommend we take a 5-minute recess.
Okay. Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor, please signify aye. Any nay? Any opposed,
Yay.
nay? Okay. All right. 5 minutes. Your mic's on?
We just turned the mics on, Rachel, getting ready for the meeting to resume.
Okay, meeting is now resuming. Next item is item number 7B, Holly Township Parks and Recreation. Accountant Rachel R. Schroeder, CPA, will present the fiscal year 2025/2026 year-end report. So remember, Commissioners, this is the end of our fiscal year, not what happened in July and August. And August is still in midst. And so, for our directive, we asked our accountant to give us quarterly reports. This is the fourth report that she's giving us this year in accordance with our agreement. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Schroeder so she can give a report. Rachel?
Good evening.
Good evening.
You should have your final budget to expenditures report. We brought in roughly 98% of what we were expecting. We estimated tax revenues a little bit high. We've budgeted a little more conservatively for this next year. But we've only spent about 67% of our budget, so we are still falling well within our means. There are a couple of amendments that I am suggesting that we look at in order to accurately reflect how we spent money, and you will see those in the suggested amendments June 30th column. Pulling a little bit of money from Park 2 capital and improvements to Park 2 in order to cover increased spending in the manager's salary, in the cost of goods sold. Those are the concessions that we've purchased for the beach. For the insurance policy came in a little bit higher than anticipated, and the remaining for the website in Community Promotion Park 2. That would make the suggested budget, June 30th, the same amount. It's just allocating slightly differently. Also on this report, you can see our beginning balance of fund balance of $298,059.61. We brought in about a little over 76,000 more than we spent, so our ending fund balance as of June 30th is $374,370.05.
Can you repeat that, please? From the fund balance, please, Rachel?
Did you hear Jane? She's asking if you could repeat for the fund balance.
That number again,
The
please?
ending balance is $374,370.05.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions, Commissioners? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to go ahead and proceed. Rachel, thank you very much for your report. I don't see any questions from any of the Commissioners at this
Are
time.
you able to hear her?
Can you hear me, Rachel?
She does not see any questions, I believe is what she said.
Right, there are no
Correct.
questions from the commission. Very good reports. I think we understand what you're saying, and it's good news that our fund balance is going. I did get a question during the break from one of the commissioners when he asked, what happens when a line item still has funds in there? And I said, all those funds, we don't carry them forward in accordance with the Budget Act. They go directly to the fund balance. The only time something like that may happen is if there's a project that's in, that it's going, or it just happened. But again, we had to wait until pretty close to, well, not quite till the end of August, but she did have to finish closing out all the items for July, and so you have a good knowledge in terms of what we did. Now, one of the biggest reasons we got this reductions in our expenses is because we didn't get to do one of the big projects, and that's the drain project that's coming up. And so we have to finish that. And once we finish that, depending on what the costs are, we may have to go back and do a fund balance that comes from the, or transfer, I mean, from the fund balance itself. Because it's pretty big for us, 374,000, that's a lot. And so if and when we need to do this, then we can, we will have to go to the Township Board of Trustees for approval. The commission will make that recommendation, and then we will appear before them and get that approved. If and when we need to use the fund balance. Okay? All right. Thank you, Rachel. We appreciate your time. There are no other questions or comments from anyone else? Hearing none. Have a good evening. Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right, let's keep going, moving right along, because our agenda's a little bit long. Item number 8, old business, there are no items. Item number 9, new business. And this is right in line with what Ms. Schroeder was saying in terms of the budget amendments for fiscal year 2025-26. And I did write them down for you all to see, and you will see these numbers listed on there. Under community promotion, just so you know, and again, it's just a reminder, commissioners, when you read these items, some of you may be new to this, and she's going to, from now on, show us this column so that you can see when we make some adjustments or things of that nature. And these are suggested amendments, as she calls them. And the last month in June, we had approved the 2,373. That was for the civic, for the website. So that's where that came from, in case you're wondering. But this amendment, we made it at that meeting, so we are not doing that here. It has already been done, all right? And then the minor little increase that came and it was placed under promotion was the membership of to the North Oakland Regional Chamber of Commerce, and that's for $227. So
Where is that?
where it was budgeted under 881.
Right?
So you'll see the way she placed it, because it's amendments as of 6/30/2025. So if you add the 2373 plus the 288, then you will get that
26?
26.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Sure. That's again, you'll see this and you'll get used to it as time goes by. It's a new column, and again, it's just so that we can see it for ourselves. But each of these items, now, as I've read it to you, we're in the midst of doing an audit that's coming up. And so our auditors, when they look at our minutes, they obviously look at our administration of finances. And in order for us to be transparent and accountable to the public, these items must also stand out, so that the people can see where we move the money around. The good news here is we did not go over our budget. We stayed within our budget, and even though our revenues were reduced by a little, not much, because the big item, taxes, did not come in as originally we had projected. I think it was a little bit higher. And so, but again, we did pretty good on most of the revenue, as you can see. But again, I'm not going to go over this because we already had the accountant explain, but I'd be happy to explain to you. So for now, we did amend the budget, and I've just combined all these items together, And so I need someone to please make a motion to amend the following budget accounts to cover our cost overruns. Now, just as an explanation to the public and to our commissioners here, the auditors, when they take a look at our budget, they see if we're going over some of our items. If we can catch them ahead of time, it's best to get the adjustments done quickly. But there are times that we can't, so we have to wait till a later time so we can take a look at our budget closely, and that's okay. But the auditors will want to make sure that any changes that we make to our finances are done publicly, and so that the people can see what we're doing. And then obviously they're written in our minutes, so that when the auditors come in and audit us, they'll take a look at our minutes, which are very important for the audit, and they can check, oh, did they do this? And they'll go back and they'll take a look at our budget.
I have one other
Yes.
quick, just need clarification on the increase to the insurance. This says 288 to cover, and this says 228, I believe. So I just need clarification on that.
I think that's the one little typo, I think, that I got.
Should be 288?
I believe it
Or
should be.
228?
228.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I believe, yes.
It's 288.
288, it says 288. Nope, it says 288.
And this one does it? Am I missing it?
Does it
I
say
see
two? It should
288.
be, we corrected that, but,
I was looking on this page, suggested 228. So I was just looking at the suggested.
oh, I see 228 and 288. Okay, I see that. Okay, you see then that's my typo. Okay, so because she wrote,
Where's the other spot that says two?
the 228,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no, it's correct. 228. I know. You have 288. Hold on. Which report are you looking at? Are you looking at this one here?
I printed this from what,
It's the one that printed out this afternoon
Oh,
that we sent.
okay. I don't know.
This was the sheet that she sent this afternoon
Okay,
that
so let's
has the
stick, let's
various
stick with
columns.
let's stick with what she wrote down. So instead of, let's correct that, instead of 288, it should read 228.
Okay, thank you.
I know there was a typo in looking at some of these, but thank you, good catch. Let's stick with what the accountant has stated in the report. Thought I got that. Okay.
Madam Chair, also, the account 881, community, 881, the community park 2.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see on your motion to increase by 2,600 for the website.
No, because we did that back early in June already. That has already been done.
Okay.
Yes, no, we looked at the, at past minutes,
Okay.
and the commission did approve that already.
Just want to make sure.
No.
Thank you.
Mhm. That's already been done. And I triple-checked it, the minutes, and we went back and looked at the minutes, and it's very clear. It also allocated, unfortunately, we allocated the $800 for concessions, but we did not identify where those funds were coming from. We're doing that today.
So Chair, I also just amended the dollar amount from 2487 in the amendment. It should be 2427, I believe. because of the
2427?
difference.
Yes.
Is that correct? If anyone else
Yes,
wants to
let's write down what
recheck
she
it.
wrote. No, let's write down what she wrote, and I see that. Mhm. So it's 2427. Okay. I cannot change what the accountant has written. And I don't have my notes to verify what I've seen. I know that there was a mismatch on the dollar figures. I think in one case it should have been 228, instead she wrote 288, so I guess it's 220. Okay, I'm just going to go with what she says for now, because this is what is on her final report to us, okay? All right, so correction. So first, I guess we need to make a motion to correct my motion and change the one item, increase account number 910, insurance, by 228 and not 288 to
So-
cover.
So moved for all those.
Okay. So moved by Commissioner Earl. Is there a support? And this is to make the corrections on my motion. And where we say reduce the account number 974, we're going to change that to 2427 instead of 2487.
You mean, per, account number 971?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion to make the corrections was made by Commissioner Earl. Is there a support?
I'll support that.
Supported by Commissioner Wright. Now, Commissioners, this is not to approve the motion yet. This is just simply to approve the corrections. If that's okay, I know this is dollar signs. Do you want to do a roll call, or can I just do a voice call? Is that okay?
Financially, yes.
Financial has to be roll call all the
And
time?
I question whether or not we need to do these separately, or if we can combine all of these into one motion.
Sounds,
I think you can. I've done it in the past, but if you wish to do that separately, you can. I don't think there's an issue. Usually when you give when the finance director gives a report, he makes all in one.
Okay.
So it's okay, as long as you identify the account number and the amount and the purpose.
so roll call?
So let's do a roll call, please, just to correct my typos here.
Wright,
Yay.
Hutchins,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
DeSessa,
Yes.
Earl, yes. That motion is passed.
Okay. Now, next is a motion to amend the following budget accounts to cover cost overruns. I'll repeat them again. One is to increase account number 703, Director Manager salary, by $1,172 to cover manager overtime. Next is to allocate $800 to account number 721, cost of goods sold, to fund beach concessions. Next is to increase account number 881, Community Promotion Park 2, by $227 for the membership renewal of the North Oakland Regional Chamber of Commerce. Next is to increase account number 910, insurance, by $228 to cover the premium increase. And then finally, to reduce account number 971, which is Park 2 equipment / capital, by $2,427, and this is to fund all budget overruns. I will check this as well for the future, Commissioner, okay, to make sure, but I've done it in the past, and we can do it all together, but we can also do it separately as well, all right? But we'll look at this. All those, do I have a motion for this motion?
I'll make the motion to amend the 2020,
Motion to amend the following,
2025-2026 budget as accordingly with the motion, with the amended motion.
okay.
I second that.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Wright,
Yay.
Hutchins,
Yes.
DeSessa,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Earl, yes. That's unanimous.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, next is item number 9B. This is a motion to approve our policy that requires that there must be 2 staff members present at the Nature Center and the Maintenance Department at the same time for safety reasons. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a support? Moved by Hutchins. Is there a support?
I'll support.
Supported by Earl. Okay, so let's discuss now. Commissioner Hutchins, I know this is something that you wanted. Is there anything that you'd like to say about this? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, the biggest thing is, no matter how old or how young you are, in the circumstances, you always work in pairs for safety reasons. And our first, our 2 commitments is one, safety to the public and safety to our staff. And I've worked at General Motors and other big companies and small companies, and we always worked in pairs in case something happened. That's why I brought it.
And are there any other comments? I just have one comment I'd like to make. I 100% agree with this. I think it's important. And for the most part, I believe that generally staff does work in pairs, in general. Not always, I know that. And we're going to have to be a little bit more careful now. So, Commissioners, I know that this is the motion, but I'm hoping that we can come back and take a look at this because there may be some budget costs increased that we may have to take a look at since we're adding another person. Okay.
Are we adding another person?
Well, not adding another person, I'm sorry.
Scheduling differently?
Scheduling, yeah. So at sometimes we have one person here at the Nature Center, and now since we're saying there must be 2, then we have to have one of the other staff members also come in and work for this. So we're not going to hire any new people, we're just going to have to increase their hours, is what I'm saying. And there will be a cost increase. Yes, Commissioner Hutchins?
And also, if we get into a scheduling problem, we can always take volunteers.
From the commission?
Yeah, from the commission. Yeah.
Okay.
I would think also if it becomes a budget issue that we consider possibly not being open 5 days a week.
That's what I'm going to be looking at. You're
Well,
reading my mind.
But
Yes.
I'm curious, like, I guess the staffing is gonna be different, but if our hours are now gonna be what this packet says they are.
Mhm. That's why I'm worried.
Sunrise to sunset, it doesn't necessarily really say what the staffing is, so.
I know. So we have to look at that. We're gonna.
I
look
don't
at
know
that
that
carefully.
that correlates to our budget. This is
It-
relative to.
it will impact-
enforcement of a
Have you read everything that's in there? It will
Well, it
impact.
just says the park is open, doesn't have to be staffed.
Yeah.
We're saying by this rule
Mhm.
that it's gotta be staffed, but
So
I'm just saying.
does that mean when we close the beach, let's say we close the beach at 6 or 8 or whatever, so now we have to leave it open till dusk?
Hours are a question for me.
You have to leave it open till when?
Till
Dusk to dawn.
dusk to dawn?
No, like the chief said,
Sunrise to sunset.
yeah, we don't have to. We post our hours, he said, you post your hours, then if somebody jumps over the fence after 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you call in the police for trespass. We have to post our hours, which we do.
Okay, I didn't
I didn't get
interpret
that.
it like that, but that
Mhm.
sounds,
Yeah.
It makes
Plausible.
sense, but I don't
Yeah.
get that.
yeah. I
Okay.
just didn't interpret that from what he said. What I understood more was that we had to adopt, not that, the staffing part, but we have to adopt their hours, so I would guess that the opening and closing.
Commissioner Wright was correct. He was, I was surprised he didn't realize we had our own rules and posted.
Yeah, that's what I brought up, the posting on what everything is. Long, like he said, as long as we post our hours here and at the beach, we don't have to worry about sunrise to sunset. Because anybody that's in here after our posted hours will be charged with trespass.
Gotcha.
That's simple,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
So,
I would like to point out, though, that it is going to affect our budget. Because currently, we have Michigan Works people who are here, particularly since Tom is not here, who are working individually. And if you,
Can you move the mic a little bit closer, Madam Manager? It's so soft.
so with our Michigan Works people currently, they do work individually here. And if you're going to have people working here 2 days, luckily, we're not paying their salary, but they are limited to 19 hours a week. It doesn't fluctuate. They have to work 19 hours. So currently, and this will be for another 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever for the beach, they're splitting their time between the nature center and the beach. So once the beach is closed, then there's more opportunity for them to come here and work that. But, you know, considering Commissioner Carl's, I had been thinking along those lines too, that we would just pick certain days that the nature center will be open.
That's,
And
we'll
that.
have to look
So,
at that.
but I do foresee that there's going to be times when we still may have to have additional staff here, and particularly with maintenance. Coming up, we are going to have bittersweet coming, seeds coming. And currently, along the trails, along the main driveway, around the nature center, we have an overwhelming problem with bittersweet. And I think that we do have, and this is for future, I could do it in my report, but we do have ASP coming out to do a cleanup towards the end of August. But we also can schedule some volunteer time, but it has not been that we get a tremendous amount of people coming out. And we still have the problems remaining. So, you know, I think that will be one of the things for the commission to decide is where the funding is going to be portioned. And if you don't portion a part of that to stewardship, you're going to have big problems down the road. So,
Yeah, that's, again, we're going to have to take a look at our budget as we proceed with this. And we'll come back to the commission to identify what those costs could potentially be so that we can address them. And then also, if any of you find some grants or things like that that you think, you know, could be useful to us, please send them to the manager and myself, and of course with you. I know James is a great writer, might be able to apply for some of these grants, and might be able to help us address some of this issue. Okay. All right then. Okay, having said all that, and we all understand, any other further comments or questions on this item?
So are we talking about tabling this item until we get a budget number?
We can, you want to put, you
Not
want to?
exactly comfortable approving something where we don't know how much it's gonna cost.
Well, I can promise you this. It's just like we did with the budget, okay? I know that you all do this, but Mary and I look at the budget, you know, a little bit more every single month. And as soon as I saw that the revenues weren't going to come in as expected, I quickly said, let's put a halt to some of our expenses. Let's stop, let's take a look and see what we need. But that's just me, okay? and as you can see, we did very well. And we still got some other things done, like the bathrooms and things of that nature. But if we'd not done that and we'd spent all the money, then we would have had some major financial issues. So,
Are we planning though on tabling this?
well, that's the question. That's the question that Commissioner Wright has said. Should we table this until we get some figures? Or should we approve this and then come back to you? Commissioner Hutchins?
Over the years, we were open as long as we could staff it. We closed this on certain days. We used to close the beach on Wednesdays for mostly the whole month of August. So it isn't nothing new, as per staffing. Yep. If you don't have the staff, you're not open. It's like if you don't pay the light bill, don't come here after dark. So that's the option we have is closure. That's simple. So I don't like tabling stuff. August is almost done.
So if there wasn't that, 2 maintenance people, would we close?
No.
No, he wouldn't be able to work.
A lot of times, if Mel's got a project in here, he's gonna be here for 4 or 5 hours or the whole day doing something here or at the nature center.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You can get staffing around that.
Okay.
And he does work closely with the manager, and most of the times he brings, assistance, because he can't do it all by himself. He'll need some help. Either Zach or Damon will join him,
So the
and
wording
sometimes all
though-
3 of them.
So the wording though,
So the wording is, let me read it again. So it's motion to approve policy that requires that there must be 2 staff members present at the nature center and maintenance department at the same time for safety reasons. So that's what was, that motion was made by Commissioner Hutchins and supported by,
so that could be like potentially a maintenance person and a staff person?
Yes, it could be Mary and Mel. It
Okay.
could be Zach and Mary. It could be
Okay.
Mel's brother and somebody else, So creative staff. As long as there's somebody around here that can say, oh, or if somebody wants to show up, I've been at the beach a few times. Jane's been at the beach to fill in for staffing.
and
As long as there's
Lisa
2.
has to.
We don't care who the 2 are.
Cindy,
2.
Lisa, Cindy,
Yeah.
Cindy has to.
I think I just want to make sure on the wording that it didn't.
And the manager will
2
send
maintenance
us.
people is what I was.
Do we need to add anything here, or is
What about
this
the
fine the way it
beach?
is?
We're not adding the beach, so by
Well, the
this-
beach is already requires 2.
Yeah,
We already require the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah, it's in writing.
It's in, well,
yeah.
I
It
assume.
used to be part of our rules and procedures.
I
to
have-
do at the beach.
I don't recall that.
Well, we never have 1 person at the beach, never. There's always 2 people.
I would suggest, just to be clear, we've got Sorensen, we've got maintenance, why don't we just say the beach?
I have
We
no
talk-
qualms, we just have to amend
And then
the
we're
motion.
covered. No
Do you have
ambiguity.
an issue with that, Commissioner?
We just approved the agenda for the wording that we have.
I know, but we can amend the motion, okay? I know we approved the agenda, but we can amend the motion if we
What do you want
want
to
to.
move it to?
So we're gonna amend it to say, motion to approve policy that requires that there must be 2 staff members present at the nature center, maintenance department, and beach. Okay, so the maker of that motion is Commissioner Hutchins.
Yes.
Do you wish to continue that?
Yes. I'll-
Support that with
Yeah.
that amendment?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Earl, I believe you supported that. Do you wish to continue that with that amendment?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments or questions on this? The only comment, and I would like to just say this for the record, hopefully it'll be in the minutes, is we will look at this carefully, and administration will work with her to make sure that fundings, if we need to make any adjustments, to the time or anything like that, we will come back to the commission and let you know. Okay? We have to, all right? All right, just as a note, Madam Secretary, if you could put that out there, please, so that we don't forget. All right, understood? All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this one. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Wright.
Yay.
Hutchins.
Yes.
DeSessa.
Yes.
Carl.
Yay.
Earl. Yes. That motion has passed. Unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioner Hutchins, for bringing this up, and for everybody else here. Everybody has volunteered in some fashion or another, so we appreciate it. Okay, moving on to item number 9, new business C. This is a motion to continue services with row services for the upcoming Holly Township Parks and Recreation Master Plan, which is due January 2027 at a cost not to exceed, and I need to change this, I didn't realize this, it should be 9,000, not 9,800. I thought we had changed that, so we forgot, because I believe that the paper says 9,000 on there, yeah. So there's a couple of things that well, first, let me see if there's a motion before I can discuss. Is there a motion to support, it, to make, who wants to make this motion? There you go. For discussion and then action. Okay, I will make that motion. I will make this motion. Is there a support?
I'll support.
Thank you, Commissioner Earl. Okay, so it's been made and supported. Now discussion. There's a couple of things that we need to consider when we take a look at this motion. The first thing is it's not a budgeted item. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing is that the master plan is coming up. It's due. In order for us to meet the deadline of January 2027, we must start working on it ASAP, as soon as we can. Now, I've been working with Row Services, and I would recommend that we continue our agreement with them to update our plan. Now, originally, their proposal was at 12,000. And I was able to speak with them, and we're going to be doing some of the services ourselves in order to bring this price down to 9,000, which is $3,000. Originally, you won't see the 12,000 in the plan that they gave you, but the first time when they presented it to me, and I mentioned it to you all that I was going to discuss this with them, it said 12,000. And then I sat down. Well, I spoke with them over the phone, the manager and I, and we talked about ways as to what we can do in order to bring this cost down a little more. And obviously, when it comes to citizen participation and some of the copies of some of the materials and things like that, the administration, you know, we are going to be responsible for doing that. I have a suggestion as to where these funds can be taken from, but it's not part of this agenda. And so if we were to approve this motion, I would come back to the commission with a motion as to where these funds could be addressed. I'd be happy to explain how we can do that. Let me just go ahead and say where these funds could come from, so that'll help you in making your decision. We have $10,000 budgeted under capital right now for the acquisition of a lawnmower for the beach. Since the beach will be closing in a couple of weeks, we could utilize those funds instead to do the master plan. And then as we go further until next year, when we approve the budget, it's still in the summertime, we may still be able to add a grass cutter. I won't say lawnmower because it's much bigger than just a lawnmower, to acquire it at that time. And it won't stop services. We do have a lawnmower right now that works, and it's getting old, and we wanted something a little bit better to help the staff. We've not purchased it yet. It is in this year's budget. I'm just saying that we hold off on acquiring the lawnmower since we don't need it until next year. Now, the master plan is something that is very important. I've spoken to a couple of other individuals, in particular the park manager, I believe, from Springfield Township, and she expressed the importance of having a top-notch master plan, one that is professional and well done, and she's been able to obtain some grants because of a well-done master plan. We are not planners here. We cannot interpret the findings. I mean, it's our best guess as to what we see, and we could be right, we could be wrong, but when you're putting together a master plan, it should really be done by a certified planner, in my personal opinion. And as we go in the next few months to look for grants, the master plan is something that the people will be looking for, that it will be one of the requirements for submission of a grant. And I want us to be at our best for this commission. And so, having said all this, and I'd be happy to answer more questions, I really believe that this is important, and it's very critical to us to be able to do this for our parks. And I believe that the master plan is important, and I think that we can do a much better job in regards to participation. We may even look at the survey that you put together with them to see if this is something that is doable, that they can look at and utilize. I did not discuss that with them, but we can certainly look at that. And then, of course, it'll be up to us to help increase the amount of input from the residents, which is something that we've all talked about. What do the people want? I think you and I, Commissioner, we've talked about this, and wouldn't it be incredible if we could get the folks to sit down with us and say, this is what we want our parks to be. This is what we think is good for us. And while we're proud to have been elected by the electorate, we want to make sure that we listen to them. And I'm not going to go down that road because I know you all agree with me on this, and I know that you want to hear from our residents as to where we're heading. So, where I've identified a place as to where I think we can use the funds in order to fund this. I've been able to reduce the budget from 12,000 to 9,000. We're also going to continue to utilize the previous consultant who did a very good job. I've looked at the previous master plan, and it's very well done. They will now be able to update it quickly because they've been with us. They know us. They prepared the last one, and they'll be able to, in my opinion, understand us fully as we prepare the upcoming master plan. So that is what I'd like to say, and this is what I'd like to recommend, and I'm hoping that you will join me in this endeavor. Yes, Commissioner.
Public input is paramount.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how many public input comments Road did 5 years ago. Does anyone know that off the top of their head, what the base was?
I did look at the report, and there weren't that many, but it
That's what
wasn't,
I thought.
it wasn't Row, okay? It was us.
Well, it was a company that did it for us, it was with a grant.
We got a grant to do the master plan?
Yes, it was through the Power Patrol Corps, through recreation. They were making that ninja course through here. So that was part of it. We got that done professionally by another company. So it wasn't just us. And I think we ended up with about 8 or 10 people that showed up at 2 public meetings. It's hard to get anything, people come out.
That concerns me about the quantity, that is so important to this plan.
Yeah. It is.
Another comment, because I don't know much about Row, so I Googled it. There's a website called Bird's Eye. There were 26 comments in the review out of a 5-point scale. Row scored 3.9. There were, what did I say, 25? 26 respondents. There were 6 ones. Not good. 6 out of 26 were one.
That was for Row?
Yes.
6 out of 21?
26 respondents. 6 of the 26
So, but-
were only a single digit one.
And what were the other 20?
It varied, the average was 3.9 out of 5. It kind of bothered me. Maybe worth digging deeper. Find out what those, I didn't read all of them. I read one. Come said this company is a disaster to work with. I didn't read them all.
Was there any, sorry to interrupt, were there any of the other companies, I see he listed a lot, were you able to reach out to any of those
No.
people? I was
No.
talking to Chair DeSenza.
Oh,
I'm sorry, the other people?
Any of the other places that he
Right.
worked, that he did,
Oh.
there's a lot of things listed. I just wondered, like Alma, Caro, Clio, Flint, there's a lot of places listed.
I did not reach out to these folks, but I can tell you that I've worked with Row Engineering myself in a previous life as a city manager, and they were very good. They're very, as you can see by the references, they're well-known in this region, especially in the northern side of the world. Mostly, when I was the manager of Holly, Row Engineering was our engineers.
excuse me.
Yes.
Row Engineering is a different company than.
No, I know, but they are a past, they used to be, there's Row Engineering and then there's Row Professional. So
Apples
they
to
sticked it
apples.
out, yes. But I have worked with them on that side of the world. They are well-known in this area. I'd be happy to reach out to these folks, but we're running out of time.
That's another point.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to decipher their timetable. We've talked before, we as a commission need to establish our objectives. Time is running out. If we want this done by the end of the year, I think we'll be hurrying the ball.
That's why we need them. I've tried, commissioners. I have personally tried. You know that. To develop a strategic action plan with goals. See where we're heading.
We started strategically with strategies follow objectives.
Well, that's part of the plan, sir.
Well, we should need to start with objectives and then develop the strategies.
You start with the objectives and then you set the strategies how you're going to accomplish it.
That's correct, that's what I just said.
Okay. So, we're behind. We've worked with them before. We're a different group. We may be able to get them to work a little differently. I don't know, Commissioner Hutchins?
What happens if we don't have a master plan by January? Does this place suck up and go to Saturn or someplace? If we don't make the deadline? The deadline, that means that master plan is only good till that time. After that, we're not gonna be penalized or anything else.
Well, we will be
Yeah.
penalized.
By who?
Well, for example, they're not gonna fine us, but we're gonna be penalized, but we won't be able to apply for some of the grants that are available out there.
let's discuss this before. I've been here 30 years. A grant paid for this place. And if you don't need grants, you don't have to have a master plan, okay?
Say that again. Sorry. If you
Don't need
need a
grants.
grant?
Yeah, you don't need grants.
We
After we
need
built this,
grants.
We
we
need
said
grants.
there was
We
no
need
more
grants.
improvements.
We
So-
need grants.
I know.
Yeah.
That was through the DNR. Back then, you had to have a master plan through the DNR. That's why we went to recreation and got that last thing. Now, being on the village for 15 years, parks, we did our own. Management produced it, printed it and everything else. Because we went out and got bids from Rowe Engineering that were between $10,000 and $20,000. There's other companies besides Rowe that does this stuff. And Rowe is well known around here for mainly engineering. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, there's more than one ball player at the baseball game. And to me, $9,000, who else can bid this thing? They can look at our old master plan.
The original estimate that originally, until I was able to bring it down by us doing some of the was 12,000. Okay. I'm not so sure I can do that with other entities.
Don't know till you try. I'll sell you my van for $20,000. What would I take? I'll sell it to you for $7,000. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you say municipality, I don't care if it's parks, anything else, big bucks, you times it by 4.
Well, we are running out of time, commissioners.
But we've sought one bid, not 3.
I didn't seek, I just simply am recommending that we continue the agreement or the contractor that we had the last time. That's all I'm recommending. I did not go out to seek for 3. And given the time that we have right now, it would be very difficult. I mean, we're late already. You know.
One of the
It doesn't bother
reasons
me.
also that you choose a professional company like that is because of their contacts and their ability to point you in the right direction for grants. If you don't have somebody who knows those kind of things, it makes it even more difficult. And like Chairperson DeSessa said, then you're at the point where you're trying to identify your own grants. And they're not that easy to decipher as far as how to do it, who to have help with it. Whereas if you do have a professional company, they have a process that they go through.
Well,
So,
if you remember, Tony Brinker was our administrator here, parks administrator. She got grants for this. She got grants for the farmstead out there for a lot of money to do the barn and the north house and a lot of other things out there. And she was not a professional grant writer, but she did, and she got other entities around here. She was writing grants for other things besides just Holly Township parks.
I understand that.
But Commissioner, wasn't she full-time? And her background, she had a little bit more experience in the
Her
preparation of
background in
grants?
education was an English teacher. Yeah.
Does-
And then it was Parks and Recs.
Does this outline here mention anything about their assistance in grant development?
No, it's just something that most entities, when you work with a professional group, it's something that they'll do. I don't think it's something that's in there and that has to be written, but it is a way for us. We've developed a communication line. We are their client. They're more apt to help us when we ask for that. We can ask them. We've spoken a little bit to
I
them.
wasn't saying that they were going to write the grant.
No.
I was just saying that they could point you in the
And that's
direction
all-
of how to
that's
do
all-
it.
That's all, and the fact that we would have our own professional company to do this, then it would help.
Under grant experience, in the packet, it does give a big guide for clients who evaluate application process.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. So they'll help us there? That'll answer your question?
Yeah, is that under the 5 grant?
It's under the grant experience.
Grant experience.
To the very top.
I think I got 3 pages, but probably 4 front and back, and I didn't yet to see that.
It's
Sorry.
this one here, I'll show you, it's right up here. This one that lists all the cities.
Ah, okay. Okay.
I think given the time as well that I asked, when I asked for them, I think they put together a good proposal for us. This takes a lot of time, and they went out of their way in order to get this to us within a reasonable amount of time. I think they put together a decent proposal for us, given the time frames that we asked them to do, and they were willing to reduce the cost. Okay. So, hearing no other comments?
I guess I have just one other question.
Yes.
Can you tell me, or does it say in this what specifically I mean, I see this one chart that tells what our township is going to be responsibility-wise.
Mhm.
But what was it prior, when it was the 12,000? Or when it was higher, you know, like he says that he reduced the amount because he shifted some of the responsibilities to the township.
Like, for example, we're going to be responsible more for the citizen participation portion of that side of it. I don't have the original with me.
Okay.
But that was part of it. We would be doing more of that. And, I mean, they're still taking on the main stuff, okay? They did not give us any of the main
Okay.
things. They're still tackling that. You know, they prepare the draft notice. We're responsible for publishing the notice. The big one here, I suppose, was to identify the locations as to where, you know, the public's going to come. Then also under reviewing of the plan and makes recommendations to the plan to us. Row, where we would draft the resolution.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
just read that, I just didn't know
It's
if there was a...
it's primarily in the citizen participation side of
Okay.
it. That's really where most of it would come, where they would be the ones who would be out there looking for, we're gonna have to do the promoting. We're gonna have to go out there and get people to, you know, come to our meetings. We're gonna have to do, you know, go out to the public and spread it. And we'll have to do, put it on our Facebook page, put notices, all that stuff's gonna be up to us.
Okay. Thank you for
Mhm.
clarifying that.
Thank you.
They're the ones, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Commissioner Wright, with your draft of the questionnaire, how can we implement that quickly? Is there anything we can condense to get it out quickly to get some responses?
It's ready to go right now. Like I said previously, I've already done the majority of the work. Actually, all the work is already set to go. All I have to do is, you know, submit the link to the website page or the Facebook page, and we're live.
Because I think we need to establish a quantity to get quality. I mean, if we get only 25 responses, I'm not happy with that. We need to set, I think, a goal of what's acceptable from the public.
And I'm kind of concerned to piggyback off of that. The road to the left line, correct? And we only got 8 responses. And they were responsible to get responses, right?
Well, I thought Joe said that they weren't I'm sorry, Commissioner Hutchins, I thought he said that it wasn't
It was
Row,
us.
it was another grant company that did the actual engagement. Is that correct?
Okay.
As far as I know, if you look at our master plan and read that, it should tell who condensed that and brought it forward.
Okay. Regardless, I don't think there was very many responses back.
No, there wasn't.
No.
That's one thing you'll find about surveys
Yeah.
and everything else.
You're not gonna
You
get
can
a
sit there.
response.
Detroit was paying people over 18 years old, they were paying $50 for people to fill out their questionnaire. And they didn't do that good either. So a lot of times it ain't out there.
Right.
Here you got Detroit with how many thousands of people? 70? 700,000 people in the city of Detroit, $50 a crack if you're over 18 years old. So I'm not a big believer of surveys because people don't want to participate. No matter if it's two questions or a bunch.
Yeah, it's no reflection necessarily on the survey.
No.
It's just getting anybody to do the participation part is
Ardith
difficult.
Reagan was a good politician in this town. She used to have surveys. And we'd go out door to door doing surveys. And people would sit there, I ain't gonna, no, get out of here, leave us alone. Or, yeah. And her survey was, if we had to give up two things, because we're running low on money, would it be mosquito spraying or the police department? Boy, talk about slighted. Well, everybody that said, no police? Oh, yeah, do away with the mosquito spraying. So it's the direction you project.
Right.
And we used to go out door to door, 7 of us, to find out what people wanted. Well, they didn't want mosquito spraying.
And I've reviewed the survey. I'm not sure that long lengthy one that you put together, I don't think not too many people are going to fill that out. I think just basic, general, would be okay. I mean, we're going to be lucky if we get even, 5 or 6 people to fill that survey out.
Well,
And the only way that we're going to be able to get more responses is for us here, to go out there and do something like what Commissioner Hutchins was saying. I'm not saying we're going to go door to door, but we're going to have to promote it hard. We're going to have hard copies, because not everybody has access to the internet here in our community. And with the reception of the internet, don't get me started on that. It's, anyway, not very good.
As for the length of the survey, that's why I put together several, including the short survey.
I think the short survey more or less gives us an idea as to what people want. And if it doesn't, and if they don't, there's a section in there that says, okay, so what did I miss? Tell us. And so they can write it down.
Yeah, I liked the short survey. I am going to be honest, I didn't go back to do the long survey, but I did the short survey, and I thought it was good.
But again, surveys, I don't know if you did this based on your experience, education, or whatever, but I do know that surveys are not easy to do. I know that surveys have to have a purpose as to what is it that you're trying to get the survey to tell you. And I know that if you don't do it correctly, then you're not going to get any good answers from the survey. So I am not a professional survey writer. I am not a professional planner. I do have education in urban planning, but I know enough to know that leave it to the planners to help when it comes to that. And again, I'm just giving you based on my experience and education. I was one of the very few city managers who actually hired a city planner. And it was very important and helped us out tremendously. But anyways, again, it's this recommendation, commissioners. I think this is important. I think we need to get started on this. I do not have time. I don't know if the manager has any more time to go out there and looking for any more bids or quotes or whatever. That's going to take a lot more time. I think this company was willing to reduce their costs. I believe they came up with a decent proposal. You have some ideas as to what they're going to be doing. I think they've done a good job. And but I think that the master plan is only as good as what we do, the work that we put out there. So it's going to be up to us here to do a better job at communicating. And I'm hoping that we get more responses than what the last one did, because it's very difficult, very, very difficult. As an example, how many people showed up to our budget hearings? None. None. How many people went to the budget hearings for the village? Handful. Handful. And so, it's difficult. It's difficult. I think the only one time that I was able to be successful in conducting the survey, and it was only 3 questions. 3 questions. And I got a 70% response. This was the city of Pontiac when we were looking at doing recycling, if they were interested in bringing back recycling. And the answer, we were just looking at increasing the cost of $5. I don't think the city wanted to hear that. He said. So anyways, it just goes to show you, I'm not going to go over the others that I apologize if I'm doing, but I think this is important. If we don't get this done tonight, then I don't know how else to do this. I don't think going out to bid is going to get us any better number. I think 9,000 is the number based on what we're looking for, and the fact that this company was willing to work with us and consider this. So with all due respect, Commissioners, I am recommending that please consider this motion, and if not, I don't know how to help us. So with that, let's go ahead and call roll call. Madam Secretary.
Right.
Yay.
Hutchins.
No.
DeSessa.
Yes.
Carl.
I don't like the position we're in. I think we should have done a little bit more homework earlier. But I think we're up against the wall. I hate to pass judgment on an important issue in this situation. I'm going to say yes.
Earl, that is yes. That motion passes.
Moving on to item 9D. This is a motion to approve the installation of a donated flagpole near the baseball diamonds at Sorensen Park. And speaking of proposals, oh my, very good, very good. I still have a couple of questions. I wish we had an attorney. I have a couple of questions, but I think she handled this very, very well. So before I turn it over to Commissioner Roy, or may I turn this over to you, sir?
Yeah, that's fine.
So before I do that, again, I want to thank you. This is an excellent proposal. Very well done. It answers a lot of my questions. I appreciate it. I just want to make it very, very clear that if the commission agrees to do this, that this donation is being done by the Holly Township. Okay? That's not what is stated in our report here. We weren't sure about that. If it's coming from you all, then I think that helps us.
Did you say the Little League?
It's coming from the Little League. Okay. That was an issue that I had some concerns about, but that gives me a face and an entity. And I know that the Holly Little League, which we people will, has done a wonderful job for us. We developed a good report that I think will be good. So with that, Commissioner Wright, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir. Thank you.
As for anything with the Little League, I have to state that I am on the Little League Board of Directors as League Information Officer. While I don't believe that my position can be conflict with this because there's no financial you know, financial, any hint of financial gain on my part. I will leave it to the commission to determine whether or not I should recuse myself.
This is a tough one, Commissioner, because,
I don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem?
There's no money involved.
well, there will be money involved when,
It's a presentation for our consideration, no out-of-pocket purse to us.
none to us, no.
I don't think his position on Little League will influence anything that determines
I
our.
see your point. I see your point. Commissioner Hutchins, do you have a question?
Well, I think it does still involve money because we're assuming the responsibility for maintenance of the flagpole and the flag. So it doesn't involve money. Yes, yes,
Installed, and we are responsible for it.
we're agreeing, yep.
Although I know that they've agreed to do some maintenance here as well, and I know what you're thinking. I know, but it's you, I mean, it's you all, and as long as you all are part of the league, I know that you will honor that. But if ever it changes, then that may not be the case. And even if it doesn't change, okay, we, as Commissioner Hutchins has said, we are responsible for the maintenance, no matter what. So, and I know I talked about the flag, and we know a way how to get that at no cost. Yes, I know. So, you know, again, I think, I can't speak for the entire commission. I know that this is a wonderful proposal. We're very appreciative of this. I love the flags. We have one in our, at the baseball fields. Most all baseball fields, you'll see a flag up there, and they always do the Pledge of Allegiance before a game and things like that. So that's wonderful. I love that.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Just a point of order.
Yes.
We,
No, we haven't done that. We haven't done that. I agree. So he's looking at me. When are you going to do this? But the first question was, should we
Right.
allow him to have a vote? Okay. Because
Conflict of interest.
Yeah.
conflict of interest. And he is he's the president, is that correct?
No, I'm the league information officer.
Do you have any role in determining funding or where Little League funds go?
None.
Thank you for answering
Do you have a vote with this?
Yes. Yes.
do we have a vote on that, or how would we handle that?
I just asked the chair,
Oh, just,
yeah,
just ask, I don't
There has
have.
to be a motion from somebody to either excuse.
Right.
Or allow Commissioner Wright to have a vote on this. And I guess I need to discuss it a little bit more. Commissioner Hutchins brings out a good point that there are funds. It doesn't mean that you can't discuss this, okay?
Right.
You can discuss, you just can't vote on whatever.
but isn't the conflict of interest rules for personal financial gain?
I think it's a little bit more than that, but that's one of the things.
Yeah,
You're going to be able to.
Yeah.
Personal financial gain, which there's none.
There is none.
There is none. Commissioner Hutchins, what do you think about that?
It's up to him.
That's a good question. One of the, I remember asking, as many members, the council asked, whenever we were starting something like that, council asked the council members, do you feel or do you think that there would be a conflict of interest if you voted on this as a commission?
I do not. And I don't take that question lightly. As you well know, I've recused myself for pretty much every other Little League issue come in front of the commission.
All right, do you all
Yes,
Commissioner Wright, okay, do you make that motion?
I make a motion that we consider whether Commissioner Wright should be part of this conversation and have voting privileges
On this item?
on this item.
So your
I'm making
motion
that
is,
motion.
your motion is to allow Commissioner Wright to participate in this discussion. and
Yes,
to
I
vote.
will make that motion.
Okay. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Hutchins. We've already discussed, is there anything, other things you'd like to discuss regarding? I guess for me, again, the concern that I had was the fact that there are some funds, as Commissioner Hutchins brought up, and there's some maintenance in the future, but we know this is going to be required, we must do this. And then on the other hand, though, there's no personal gain, in terms of financial. Commissioner Wright is not going to be the person installing. Commissioner Wright is not going to be getting any kind of money for this. It's all no. So the only one that will be getting, well, not everybody, there's only people that are going to be donating for this, right? Well, anyway, so let's vote on that one issue, to allow Commissioner Wright to vote and to participate in this item. Okay, do we roll call vote or should we just do a voice vote? Let's do a roll call vote. There's a question. Go ahead.
Okay, Hutchins,
Yes.
DeSessa,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Earl, yes.
Great, let's go.
All right, let's go. Okay, so this next item, Commissioner Wright, I'm going to turn this over to you so you can describe it and tell us why we should do this.
Well, I'm gonna let, Dealin Wright answer that question. She's prepared the proposal and has a, introduction to it.
All right, so my name's Dylan Wright. I'm on the board, the Lilly Board of Directors. I just lost my notes. So I am here on behalf of the Little League Board to ask you guys to approve the flagpole here at Sorensen. We have voted, the Little League Board has voted, and we did pass 100% to put it here and bring it before you guys. The goal of the project is simple. We'd like to have the American flag proudly displayed at Sorensen Park for our community, our kids, the veterans, and everyone who visits the parks. We also believe that the flagpole would add additional meaning to the park. It would give children an opportunity to see and learn about the American flag, if they have not already. Provide a place to recognize veterans and those who have served our country, and create central focal points during the Little League games, opening days, tournaments, and other community events here in the park. So it would serve more than just the Little League. Sorensen Park is a place where families come together. It's a place where children play, parents and grandparents watch from the sidelines, and members of our community gather throughout the year. We believe that the American flag flying there would provide pride, respect, and a tradition to a place that is already important to so many people. The proposed project includes a 30-foot commercial-grade flagpole, professionally installed, a concrete foundation, solar power lighting for a night, so no one has to take the flag down every night. The proposed location, I believe it's in the proposal, is up on the grassy area between the pavilion and the left corner of the black field. So it's on the flat land, so there's no weird setting of it. We believe that the location provides good visibility throughout the whole entire complex. and including the playing areas. This project has been fully funded through community support. Holly Little League is not requesting any kind of financial contribution from the Parks and Rec. The United States flag itself has also been donated by the VFW Hall. We are prepared to work closely with the park staff to make sure the final location, utility marking, installation, and further maintenance are all handled appropriately. I personally plan on putting a little garden around it if you guys allow it in, and I'm going to maintain that garden myself. The flagpole would not be simply just for today. We hope that it becomes a permanent part of Sorensen Park, that current and future generations of children and family will recognize and enjoy this also. Years from now, we would love former players to be able to return to the park, see the flag flying, and remember that this was part of the place where they played Little League. On behalf of the Little League Board of Directors, we respectfully ask the Commission to approve the installation and proposed flagpole at Sorensen Park. That's what I have.
Yes, I have one, two. Do your Little League players, do they have an allegiance to the flag? In other words, for the game, do they stand and say?
I fully plan on implementing that rule next year as either president or vice president of the Little League.
So
It will be.
The dedication or
Yeah.
before every game, they, like, we start our meeting.
Yeah.
Very good.
And all of our players, including our coaches, have the American flag on their jersey.
On our jerseys.
Sure. When the flag at some point ages, deteriorates, fades, whose responsibility?
So the commissioner at the VFW Hall said if we return the flag, they take care of it, and there's another one to replace
You
it.
said VFW, did I read the American Legion?
That was an error. on
Yeah.
my part.
All right,
It is the
Is.
VFW.
all right. And this blue X is where you're proposing?
That's the proposed location.
I-
It's in between the pavilion and the left outfield post.
Approximately how many feet is that from the foul line?
It's far enough to where the flag won't hit it. I don't know how far.
I didn't play left field, I played right in the pitch, I played shortstop. And that, to me, looks like it might be
It's outside the gate.
a gate.
It's slightly
It,
away from
it,
the gate.
huh?
It's slightly away from the gate.
Yeah.
I'd hate to run down a foul ball and run into it.
I have yet to see a foul ball come out of. Yeah, it's outside the fencing. It's more towards the pavilion.
All right, I didn't see it.
On here, it's kind of hard to see that.
It's hard to see if there's a...
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions I
Is this a cantilever pole for maintenance, or is this just a single pole? Cantilever is where you have three pipes, and you pull the pins out, and you cantilever it down so you can service the top of the flagpole, or is this a stationary one you have to go up in a bucket truck to service the upper pulley?
I would guess it's going to be double, but I can ask.
At the beach, both of our flagpoles are cantilever poles, which you can tie off on a truck and lower easy. Otherwise, you have to get a bucket truck in there, which Guy Cleaver's son is a tree trimmer. He come up and service the big old flagpole.
I wish the two staff members would have known that before they touched it.
Yeah, timber. At one time, we were gonna scrap that pole, and I was gonna take that flagpole and mount it up here, because I hate to see a good flagpole go to waste.
So that was beautiful, that copper.
Diamond.
Broke my heart. People pulled the pin, and the thing crashed out.
Yeah. In Bennett,
Yep.
we had the village put it back up. They brought in a backhoe, a truck, and 3 guys.
Next time maybe they'll look at the little plane. And the beautiful ornament going over the top. It's, I think, in the beach house. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for his answer.
That's the only one I have.
Would you prefer that, if at all possible,
A cantilever?
Yeah.
Due to maintenance.
Yeah, it'd be easier.
so that's something that we would discuss? First, it has to be voted by the city, not just me, but pretty sure, that the commissioners would ask, please. Commissioner Earl, any comments or questions?
I do not have any. Thank you, though, for a good presentation.
Commissioner Wright?
None.
So here are my questions, okay, and I'm not so sure that it's on here. I would like somewhere that it be written, I'm looking at the ownership and ongoing responsibilities, and it does say under item number 9, upon completion of acceptance, the flagpole, foundation, solar lighting system, and associated permanent improvements are, it says proposed. I would not like that word, I would say become the property of Holly Township Parks and Recreation as part of Sorensen Park. That's what I want, to make sure that once this is done, and it's done in accordance to what we discussed here, that it becomes the property of the township, Park Township. Yes, sir.
Also, one caveat to that is that we'll also be responsible for the maintenance of said things.
We will.
Yeah, that will be put in there.
We will work with you, obviously, but we are responsible, and we know that we will do everything in your our ability to keep that area clean. But I do know that the ultimate authority, the ultimate responsibility is us, and we recognize that. Like it was mentioned by Commissioner,
You can call me Earl.
just don't call me. The only other thing is, I would like, in all due respect, I would like our maintenance staff to take a look at the spot that we're considering, and you guys are considering, before you put it on there. Please. Because I think we can help, and maybe say that, it's fine, we're all around the thing. But I truly would like our maintenance supervisor and our manager, and let me write this down. Our key staff, the manager and the supervisor of maintenance, to sit down with you all and make sure that that is the appropriate place. You think that they do issue there? I mean, we will consider obviously where you're recommending. It sounds
I mean, it depends on how long it would take to,
like it won't take long.
okay.
I mean, they're here, just make sure that they're here. And I would ask the manager and at least, maintenance supervisor to sit down with you all and say, hey, it's gonna be a better site or whatever.
Right.
I'm not familiar with the topography up there, so I don't know if there's any way
Yeah.
that we could, flood it or anything like that or whatever.
The most important thing on our end is the flag can be seen from both fields at all.
Everywhere,
At all
yeah.
baselines. That's our main concern, so.
Well, for me, I understand that, Commissioner.
On a cantilever style flagpole, you have to have an LZ, which is called a landing zone. So if you get a truck up there or a piece of equipment to lower that, it's gotta be, it can't go against the fence or the pavilion, it's gotta go east and west.
Right.
So you got control of it. And even if it isn't a cantilever post, you have to get a cherry picker out there to go up around it. So that's the only constrictions.
So which one would you prefer? A cantilever or,
I would say due to maintenance, because you don't have to get anything special, is a cantilever. You can use a pickup truck, you can use our tractor. And this won't weigh as much as the one at the beach. That was a steel
No.
pole. That thing, it came down fast.
Do you
idea how much a cantilever pole costs?
Well, the only additional cost is your base is gonna stay the same size. The two posts that go down there go down the ground probably 4 feet. So as a post, your thing,
Just impose with a
post
center
on each side of the flagpole. So if you want to lower it, you pull your pins out, and pull one pin out, and you get a hold of the post and bring it down like this. So all it is, the added price is 2 posts and 2 pins. One's the pivot pin and one's the capture or release pin. So once they get it tied up and stuff, they can bring it down without having to have a cherry picker from it. Because then you're looking at added expense.
The advantage of that too, you talked about service, what can potentially go bad is the pulley at the top of that
Yes.
pole. And by being able to bring it down, you can lube it, you can service it.
And the other thing is, I discussed with Guy Cleaver is, I have a 42-foot TV antenna tower, which I put stainless steel wire on so I can run flags up and down my pole, my mast. I told Guy, I said, if we can get it, we should go to Curtains and get stainless steel wire because it doesn't rust and, or corrode. And you run it through the pulley. Rope, sun is the worst thing for rope. Next thing you know, the rope gets big, it gets frayed, and it breaks. So that's what I did, but we didn't get a chance to use stainless steel on our big flagpole. No. No, you're looking at a very small cable, not a big cable, so I hold up I used 16-inch stainless steel on mine.
Because I know that every time, many of the times with the ropes, we have trouble with our ropes, and they break, and they're old, right? We use this type of material in the vehicle last longer.
Yep.
And sometimes it depends on the flagpole, like the one at the police department.
Ropes, right?
That goes up to the center of the pole, it's actually through a hatch, and you'll see a weight on it. So that one is up there, and then you lower it down from the ground, the flag, and raise it. But still, servicing it, if you ever have to bring that pole down, it can be pretty expensive. That's why I like the cantilever pole.
So I think just listening to the conversations, we were very appreciative, I think, of the support of this. However, it will be the understanding, or at least suggest that you want to go back and get the answers now. Look at the cantilever and then look to see if they can use stainless steel instead of the rope, to lower it. And I'm not, again, this is a donation, so I'm looking, for help here, but it would be a lovely thing to do, so if you could go back, Lee, and get some answers for us on that.
He actually said that he could do either one. And then he said that he would actually have his fence division provide specs on the flagpole options if you guys wanted them.
Like I say, anytime you do anything like a garden or anything else, what maintenance is involved? You cut down your maintenance, and it can't be maintenance free, but it can be reasonable.
Yep.
So you look at the future, what's going to happen. It's easier now than it is 10 years down or 5 years down the line.
That's the dumb question for this. Also, this metal roping that you're thinking about, it doesn't bend or can it be cut?
Yeah, it can be spliced. Yeah, that's why I did it on my antenna. I didn't run a pulley, I just ran an eyelet because it was 40 feet up. And the wire is very fine, and it goes up through there. I can raise and lower a flag. But I don't, I'm too lazy.
Okay.
If you're considering vandalism, anything could be bad.
Yes, you're right. I just wondered. Okay, all right, so, you heard from the commission. If
Right.
be responsible for this as well. He wants to make sure.
Do we need any other information though, outside of the location, you know?
The only other is, I guess, we want to make sure that ownership is clearly understood, you correct that a little bit.
It was always assumed that it would become part of the park property.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I pray that this never happens, but I will say it out loud, people are going to shoot me for this, but in the event something happens to people for whatever reason, and the commission, I don't know who's going to be here, after us, decide they don't want to put it up, they want to tear down the diamond, baseball diamond, and go to the theater, you know, I'm sorry, you know, we can do that, and I won't be here, 20 years from now,
I hopefully won't either, so.
so.
I'm gonna be here.
So if you'll be the one, Commissioner Hudson, to say, sorry, we haven't moved the pole, you know, and it's for whatever reason.
Right.
The commission decides. Again,
Right.
I think that they will be common sense reasons, but again.
It doesn't matter that we're not even addressing it right now. Yeah,
We can't
yeah.
write that down, and it would be ridiculous if we didn't try to put that in writing. But just so that you know, that once it becomes our property, we can do whatever.
I have one question for
Yes,
you.
sir.
Do you have a time-sensitive installation of this? Because when is your baseball season over?
Our baseball season over in the first week of October.
So this is, and when do these guys want to put this thing up?
He's just waiting. He's literally waiting on your guys' decision.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. Like, I have everything in line except for the couple issues. He's ready to go as soon as I gave him the word go.
Now, to keep them having to come back for next month, and us to keep down a special meeting, is there any way we can phase this to keep this thing moving?
We can. So you know what the questions or the items that we'd like to see.
The recommendations.
The recommendations.
Yeah.
We could turn it over to the manager, and she would be responsible for working with you to make sure that those things happen. And if she feels that there's an issue or whatever, then she can say, okay, we gotta come back to the commission.
Right.
I'd like to keep you guys moving on this, and us
Yeah.
moving on this.
How does that sound?
Shortcut.
In the proposed, there's a suggested motion, and I didn't know here, I think. Yeah, it's on page 10 of the proposal. So maybe we could just adjust it to say, you know, the location being to be determined or to be confirmed.
How about something like,
Well, it says subject to site confirmation right on the motion.
So we're leaving it up to Mel to confirm the site, Mel and Mary to confirm the site.
actually, our manager.
It seems pretty complete, the motion.
So this is what you're going to do, Walter. The motion, I approve the Holly Village's proposal to install and levy a permanent commercial grade flagpole approximately 30 feet tall, including solar powered illumination in the grass area between the pavilion and the left field corner post of Black Hill and Sorensen Park at no cost to Holly Township Parks and Recreation, subject to final site confirmation, utility, locating, manufacturing, installation requirements, and coordination with our staff, and to accept the completed installation as a permanent improvement to Sorensen Park. So,
Commissioner Carroll, is that your motion?
what do you all think of that?
I think it's beautiful.
Okay.
There's no mention of the, what do you call that?
Cantilever?
Cantilever. That's a concern. And,
You did hear that it could be either one.
Right.
Right.
so you would, okay. All right, so you know, one cantilever, so that would be one. I don't think it's a motion. And, parentheses, cantilever. You want to do that? Okay, we put parentheses, cantilever. And then we also recommended the,
Stainless steel wire.
stainless steel wire.
Recommend.
The other note on that too, not to screw up the motion, there are no utilities up there. There's no buried electricity, there's
Right.
no buried water.
Right.
There's nothing up there.
Yeah.
So
That, yeah, I knew that a long time ago.
also, is the village gonna require a permit for that? Because the other thing is, we like in-kind service, and when we had the permit for the extension of the building up there, the storage building and stuff, they worked with us on the permits, because they wanted us to go down 42 inches on that building. We said, why? They said, well, due to drainage. I goes, this is a gravel pit. So we only had to go down 24 inches, which saved us a lot of money. So I think you have to check and see what the village wants for a permit to put up a flagpole.
So maybe we add that into the motion. Commissioner Carl, is that what
I
you
think
would?
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Subject to,
Yeah, you don't want backlash, do it and then they question it.
Yeah,
So
because
just run it by them.
They'll find whoever was responsible for it, you have a permit.
so probably at the bottom.
Okay.
That may also, connect with, the
Village for permit.
to, determine if a permit is needed, so.
And when you talk to the building inspector, I would tell him, this is a donation from Holly Little League to Holly Township Parks. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I no problem getting on the phone tomorrow to him.
I'm sure, I'm
I-
looking at it a little bit.
The proposals that I got for the flagpole cost took me 25 minutes. I got three bids in 25 minutes. I was at work during lunch and made the calls.
Excuse me, but it might help if you had your manufacturer, the installer, kind of detail width of the platform, depth of the foundation, et cetera.
You
So-
want to know that for the permit.
Yep.
Yeah, so I will tell you,
That's permit.
he has done multiple flags around town, villages, here in the
Pertinent
village.
to this.
Yeah.
Do a sketch or layout.
He was also the one responsible for doing the catch fencing
The what?
here, the catch fencing up on both fields,
Oh.
the catch fencing behind to keep the fall balls in.
You know what? I couldn't be more proud, and thank you for having a flag there.
Yep.
Yeah. I oftentimes came up here and I'm like, why do we not have one?
Well, I look forward to
Why-
taking our
why don't we
group
have
out
one?
for Pledge of Allegiance out there, and then we
Yeah.
come back here.
In wheelchairs.
Right. We'll see Joe on an Amigo.
The 4x4, I'm sure we'll do this.
So the only other idea is, to, speak with the village to determine if there is a.
Yeah, building department.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
The permit.
So, required. Okay.
I actually asked the gentleman too if he knew, so.
Okay, and I do like subject to site operation, so manager, police, utility locating, manufacturer, special requirements, and coordination required. We will work with you all on this, okay? We're so grateful.
Yeah.
Very thankful for you. This is a beautiful donation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to put a donation plaque up there too.
So at this point, the Little League actually turned me down with that because they thought we could put the money elsewhere, like building lean-to dugouts versus the donation plaque. So that was shot down.
We can be.
Right.
No, I understand.
You can always be put out there on the pole.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if I'm just speaking out loud you guys can't do it, then
That'd be awesome.
The least,
it becomes ours, then
Right.
The least we can do is at least get it on our website,
Yes.
Yeah.
like our resolution for support of Little League.
Absolutely.
Okay, so did you get all the minutes and changes, Master? Okay, everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Everybody likes this? Okay, because there are indirect costs that are associated with this, I'm going to ask for a voice of Madam Secretary, please.
Earl, yes. Carl,
yes,
DeSessa,
Absolutely, yes.
Hutchins,
2 yeses.
Wright.
3 yeses.
That motion passes unanimous.
Vote early, vote often.
Right.
Please go back to the meeting, how thankful we are, how appreciative we are.
I don't like taking credit, but I was you can ask James multiple times. I'm like, we need to get a flag up here. I need to get a flag up here. We need to get a flag up here. I mean, we need to try to figure out how to do this. And I'm the one who finally said, hey guys, we need a flag up at the park for these kids. So, and then I,
You know, I love your statement about kids and children as well, so more importantly to
the vets,
the veterans of our
right,
community.
right.
So important.
It was,
They're the ones that fought for it.
right, absolutely. And that's what I pray parents teach children nowadays. I don't have an issue teaching Little League kids that. He's watched it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
A lot of
thank
times
you.
it takes a woman to get it done.
Hey. I'm not gonna say no.
Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so item number 10, reports, staff report, and manager. So we do have some items coming up. I would like to say too, though, that, the bathroom renovation at the beach is almost complete. We did get the stalls back,
Does anyone do testing to bring the price down? It was 1,500, I read correctly, give or take, for that test. Does the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services do that? So it would have to be done by a private lab.
For phone, state does not test at all. They do some water testing, but it is generally done in an area that is identified, and they do it as a large sample type process. For individual type things like that, they don't.
Yeah. They just, several weeks ago with communication, they tested wells around Rice Lake, and everything came back good. No issues with PFAS, so concerned me because I like to fish in Rice Lake. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Resources had a program. They sent it to all the homeowners around East Road.
Well, I know that some people have them done. I don't know that they have the results yet, but
Yeah.
I do know that they have had issues with them.
Well, this was testing the drink, the wells. Yeah, drinking. Yeah.
The well water.
Everybody on the east side of East Road is township, because the dividing line is the center of East Road, village to the west, township to the east.
Well, I do know of one homeowner that is affected at this point. Previously.
Does it make sense, you talk about children's programs, to Sunday school kids, if we put a notice at churches, would we get more children participation?
We could certainly try multiple places.
Yeah.
And I think that would be one thing for our website, that once that's up, I think that would be
Yeah, most of the churches have a bulletin board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a disc tournament. Before fall, yeah. Have one before snow flies, it'd be nice to get something going. When I was a kid, Ford sponsored, get one going out here.
I did reach out to the 3 people that are involved with the groups here, just like maybe about 3 weeks ago, and asked them, and they said they don't have any plans.
Oh, wow.
They had one tournament when it was in spring, and it rained that day, so there was hardly any participation. I know that Linden County Park is installing their own install
I heard that.
So, I don't know if the people who are involved here, are anticipating helping or looking over that direction. But, as of the 3 groups that were previously holding tournaments here, they did not.
Okay, good to know. When I was in my younger years, Ford sponsored a punt, pass, and kick. Not that Ford does it anymore, but we had a lot of kids from the community. And fall's coming, football's coming up. I wonder if we could get something going, maybe right on the ball fields.
They did do a pump, pass, and kick here program previously.
Do they?
But I don't know, I know that they had equipment and they disposed of it.
I don't, you know where, when I did it, was at Cyclone Park.
Did you have equipment or?
It just, they had the football, that's all you needed. They had somebody kind of lined the field to give you yard markers. So, you just lined up, I think it was age groups. Had a center line, so you could kick straight, punt straight, pass straight, and distance. And then they had, I won a leather football. Yeah. But at any rate, I'm just trying to get things going on in here, get the word out. I even wrote down book club meetings here. Mahjong?
Well,
Let me get a, the,
we'll go around the table, but
Yeah.
yeah, you've got some great ideas, but, Madam Manager, you done? Yep. So, Madam Secretary, can you start with that? Anything to report?
I do not have anything to report.
Okay. Commissioner Hall?
I, with interest, read the PFAS thing. I think it's pertinent that we act on that, and let's test. Good idea, yeah.
We'll put that next.
I have nothing.
I have nothing to report.
I just want to bring it to people's attention the proposed website site map that I handed out prior to the meeting. Was not on the agenda. Commissioner Earl and I have been communicating via email. We've been working on this. I also copied Manager Blanchard. Just an idea of what we're thinking. And we'll be in contact with Civic Plus and get this thing going. Yeah. So, and I did incorporate Commissioner Earl's recommendation about the turtle information. So,
They've got good personalities. We gotta,
yeah. As for Little League update, as Dee said that our fall ball season started yesterday, first game. People, I have not heard any complaints. Anything I've heard about our ball fields have been positive. The only issue is that, and the Little League is talking about this, as Dee mentioned, improving the dugouts. That's currently in talks right now. So there are upcoming ideas that we have to be improving the ball fields that we'll be bringing to the commission's attention. That's it? Yes. No, it would be next year at the earliest. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we wouldn't be doing anything until next year, and of course that's after commission approval.
Okay, I have just a few items to report because I'm getting late. Again, I cannot thank staff enough for their work these past few months. Mel, Mary, you guys have done an amazing job. They had a one day, I think, Commissioner Earl was out there and helped them to clean out the office area so that they can improve that side, they painted. Did you do that?
I've been out to the park, to the beach a few times.
You were there, you helped paint, and you helped do something out
Right.
there as a local. I know Commissioner Hutchins as well, has been out there, doing some work at the beach and here as well. And everybody here, Commissioner White, obviously Commissioner Carl as well. Cannot thank you enough. This is a volunteer group of people, and I couldn't be more proud to work with each and every one of you. It's an honor. And I hope, Mary, my goal is to be here and see what we can do. There's so many things that we can do. You mentioned so many items. The last thing that I want to report, and I'm surprised that the manager did not mention this, is that we have a meeting we scheduled a meeting this month, I don't know the exact date anymore, to meet with the director for Oakland County Parks. And his name is Christopher, and he is the big, I'm sure up there, like the builder. And if anybody else wants to join us, I mean, it's just Mary that I can inform you more, person to come. But please, would you like to come?
Absolutely.
That's fine. We'll let you know. We're set up the date, give you some times, and we'll let you know.
absolutely.
And if you can't make it, it's
Okay.
Anyways, we're there, we're going to meet with them to discuss, we'll let them know if you're coming, because it's right now, it's just Mary on, make sure that knows what to expect at this meeting. I'm not expecting miracles at this meeting, but I'm expecting, information, I'm expecting, hopefully, a little bit of noise from us to help us. When we attended the last meeting, Mary and I have never gone to a meeting, Mary mentioned it to me. I was at that meeting, and I noticed that a lot of cities were getting all kinds of really cool things.
Are they getting money?
Yes, they're getting money.
Well, wasn't the survey part of that too? Was that with Crispin that we did the survey? We had to do, there was that deadline. Mission 26.
So, yeah, they were getting funds to do trails, they were getting funds to do, replace, equipment, playground equipment, all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know if they're doing that just solely because it's part of their park system, as, you know, Oakland County. But we contribute money as well.
Yeah, we
You
do.
know, I'd like to see that, plus I'd like for them to help us promote our parks as well. And I don't want to be what is it, how do they describe us, Mary? Just
Satellite?
not even a satellite, kind of park, what kind of park is where you have, just, trailers. Say again? Passive. It's very passive, however they describe us, but I would like for them to recognize us, and we can explain. Again, communication is key, and I think that's going to be important to let them know that we're more than just a little park out here. And the same thing for them. I mean, I saw many of the beautiful things that they're doing to the Oakland County parks. Please know, we are members of Oakland County, and we can get many of the services that they provide. And so, again, many of the reasons you may not know is because it's just not promoted here in Holly. And I'm hoping that with our website, we can help them promote, because this is ours. This is our money. We use, we pay money to Oakland County in order to get these parks. And what a wonderful idea to let our people know that that's there for them too. Things that they're doing and improvements that they're making are amazing. So I'm hoping that maybe you can guide us and we can find a way to get a little bit more recognition as well, and find a way. And then we'll see. Okay, so again, I'm not expecting miracles or anything like that. There are other meetings to come before winter comes. We'll need to meet with our elected officials and talk to them and some other key folks to help us with the grants that you want us all to get.
Thank you.
So it is a thing that we must do. Okay, having said that, that's all I have to report. Commission.
I thought you'd talk about phase 2. Can we get an update on the excavation part?
On phase 2, manager, would you like to get our report, please?
So I did contact probably about 2 weeks ago, I contacted Steve Sutton with the engineers and asked him for a status update. And unfortunately, he said to me that because we were not going to implement it until 2027, they had put other people ahead of us. And so I had to write back and say, I'm sorry, when we talked about it, it was our fiscal year, which is current. And that, so he said, okay. I said, is it possible for us to get put onto this year's schedule? And he said, yes. So I'm hoping, I said, because we, had planned on doing this work this year, and we still need to get bids. So,
But Little League is done October,
First week of October, we're done.
so we've got October, November, and it kind of gets cold.
but we need to get the bids first.
So we probably want to start to go in the spring, maybe? I know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll move fast, and we'll be able to get the bids quickly. Because I know, I'm anxious to finish this project, because I'd like for us to do other things that we need to do in our facility.
But what are we waiting for? They already did the The dot, the topography. What's it?
So that we can go out to bid. How we're gonna repair it.
Seemed to be that difficult. They got all the dimensions.
I know.
They know what aggregate works and doesn't
We're
work.
gonna push as hard as we can.
Okay.
The manager's doing her best to remind them.
So you got very slow pencils.
Okay, everybody's anxious. So, let me do one more item. All right, no more commissioner reports. Moving on to item number 11, again, public comment. Members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson for the items related to Holly Parks and Recreation. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to the rest of the commission, members of the public are asked to share their name, street name,